today's video, I'm going to discuss with you linear equations, which is a part of algebra. Essentially, I'll be discussing the basic aspects of linear equations, including graphs of linear functions. Now, first of all, we should know that linear equations could be in one variable or two variables, or in fact, in any number of variables. So what are linear equations in one variable? When we say linear, the word linear means the degree of the polynomial is 1. For example, 2x minus 13 is equal to 7. This is an example of a linear equation in one variable. So similarly, we have another example, 5 minus 3x is equal to 12. Now let us see how do we solve a linear equation in one variable, and that I believe is very easy. For example, if I solve the first equation, I just have to transpose the terms or shift the terms to the other side and simplify. So in the first equation, what we do is 2x becomes 7 plus 13, that is 20, and so x value is 10. Solution means that value of x which will satisfy the original equation. So in this case, since we have got the value of x as 10, I can put it back in the equation to see whether LHS is equal to RHS. So in case of LHS, my value is 2 into 10 minus 13, and that comes out to 7, which is the RHS. And so we accept that x equals to 10 is the solution of the given equation. Similarly, the second equation, where also we will also transpose the terms to the other side and solve for the value of x. I will not elaborate further, but see, the value of x you will get is minus 7 upon 3. If you put it back in the original equation, LHS will turn out to be equal to RHS. Now that was very basic aspect of solution of linear equations. Now let's move on to linear equation in two variables. So in this, we will have two variables like x and y. For example, this is one example of linear equation in two variables, that is 2x plus 3y equal to 7. So we see there are two variables x and y. Similarly, we can have more examples like this. Now, if I have to solve the linear equation in two variables, how do we go about this? Look at the equation 2x plus 3y equal to 7. Here we see that if I put some value of x, I'll get some value of y. For example, if I say the value of x is 0, then the value of y comes out to 7 by 3. Similarly, if I put the value of x as 1, I get one more value of y. If I put x as 2, I get the value of y 1. And I can develop a table out of it. The table elaborates the various values of y which I get from various values of x. So I realize that there is no single value of x and y which will satisfy the given equation. In fact, there are infinite values of x and y which will satisfy the given equation. That means this equation does not have a unique solution. If I draw the graph of this linear equation in two variables, what do I get? I will get a straight line. So let us plot these points on the coordinate axis. So this first point we have drawn is 0, 7 by 3. Then we have 1, 5 by 3, and then 2, 1. A straight line will pass through these 3 points. In fact, when we say linear equation, the word linear is composed of the main word line. It means that the graph of it will be a straight line. Now, system of simultaneous equations. Here we'll talk of equations in two variables or in three variables or more variables. And when we talk of two variables, we will have two equations. These two equations together is called as system of simultaneous equations. Similarly, we can have a system of three variables. So we will have three variables like x, y, and z, for example. And in that case, we will have three equations given to us like this. Now, how do we go about solving these kind of equations? So let us see. To solve this system of simultaneous equations, there are various methods. Primary amongst them is elimination method and substitution method. So let's quickly deal with the conceptual part of how to solve the equations using elimination method, and later on we will see substitution method. Now in case of elimination method, what we do is we observe the coefficients of the variables. So in the first equation, the coefficient of x is 2. In the second one, the coefficient of x is 5. I should multiply the first equation and second equation by which all numbers, so that the coefficients of x in both of them become same. So we can easily conjecture that the first equation should be multiplied by 5 and second equation should be multiplied by 2, so that the result are the equations where the coefficients of x are same in both the equations, and that is 10. When I subtract the equations, the 10x gets cancelled with 10x and I am left with only an equation in y. So we get 29y is equal to 29. And so the value of y comes out to be 1. Now this value of y as 1, if it is put in any one of the given equations, I will get some corresponding value of x, and in this case what I get is x is 2. And so we can say that x2, y1 or 2, 1 is the solution of the given system of simultaneous equations. And this is how we solve the equations. If I draw this table based on the first equation, I will get these points. I could have got many more points, but I am just taking these 2 points. Similarly, if I plot these points on the coordinate axis, we have seen in one of the previous examples that this is the graph we were getting. For the second equation, if we do similarly, that is, the second equation is 5x minus 7y equals to 3. For this equation also, if we develop this kind of table, we will get something like this, as you can see on screen. So when x is 1, the value of y will be 2 by 7 and so on. And let's plot these points also on the same system of coordinate axis. So plotting them and joining them by a straight line, we get this blue colored line, which is the equation or which is the graph of this second equation. These two straight lines intersect at the point 2, 1, which we have already seen is the solution of the system of simultaneous equations given over here. It means the solution is nothing but the intersection of the two straight lines. Such two lines are known as intersecting lines. Now we will apply substitution method to solve the same system of equations. Obviously, we will get the same answer. In this, what we do is, we write x in terms of y from any of the equations. So like in the first equation, if I write x in terms of y, I will get x is equal to 7 minus 3y divided by 2. And putting this value of x in the second equation, I will get something like this, which is a linear equation in one variable. And I can solve this by taking LCM and shifting the terms, which I will further not elaborate. But I will get the value of y as 1. It is same as I had got in the earlier case. And putting this value of y in the given equations, any one of the given equations will give me the value of x as 2. So my solution is same. So whether I use elimination method or substitution method, I am bound to get the same answer, of course. Let us solve this system of simultaneous equations by any method, elimination or substitution, your choice. So if we see from the first equation, I can say x is equal to 7 minus 4y. Putting it in the second equation, I will get something like this. And I end up with an equation that 21 equals to 21, which is an obvious result, which is obvious, but we don't get any specific value of x or y. What is the problem? Where is the problem? So we realize that the second equation is 3 times the first equation. And this has some implications. The system of equations will have infinite solutions, because the second equation, when we said it is 3 times the first equation, essentially I have not got 2 equations, we have got only one equation, that is x plus 4y equals to 7. And we have seen in one of the previous slides that when we have only one equation in 2 variables, we have infinite solutions. We could even draw the graph of that by a straight line. So when we have this kind of situation where one equation is a multiple of the other equation, then such a system of equations will always have infinite solutions. So let us again draw the graph of it. So let us draw the graph of x plus 4y equal to 7. So we get something like this. Plot the points. We have 0, 7 by 4, one of the coordinates, 7, 0, one of the other coordinates, and joining them we get this straight line. Now this straight line is the graph of any one of the equations. In fact, both of the equations will have same graph, which means these two lines are nothing but coincident lines. They coincide over each other at every point. And we have seen in one of the earlier cases that the intersection of two lines is the solution. Here the two lines intersect at every point because they are coincident. So number of solutions will be obviously infinite. Let us now solve this equation, this system of equations. So here we see that when I say x is equal to 5 plus 2y by 3, this is substitution method, and put this value in the second equation, I get 10 is equal to negative 4 finally, which is inconsistent result, which is an incorrect result. It means this system of equations has no solution. Please notice that the coefficients of x and y are multiples of each other, but not the constant term. So when we have this situation that in one equation the coefficients of x and y are multiples of that in the other equation, but the constant number is not the same multiple of that other equation, in this case the system of equations has no solution. Let us draw the graph. So when we draw the graph of both of these straight lines, we realize that these two become parallel lines. As you can see, as the graph is building up, you can notice that the two graphs are straight lines which are parallel lines. As I have said already, solution means the intersection of the two lines. Since these two are parallel lines, they will never intersect. And therefore, if they never intersect, it means they don't have any solution. It means when we have a system of simultaneous equations in two variables, only three situations can arise. Either we have a unique solution, or we have infinite solutions, or we have no solution. So let's talk in some more details about number of solutions. Suppose we have generalized two equations in this format, then we have some observations. One is that if a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2, then the system will have unique solution. We have already seen that in this case, the lines will be intersecting lines. Recall the examples we had taken earlier. This system of equations. Similarly, if the ratios a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2, it means all the ratios of coefficient of x and coefficient of y and constants, if these three ratios are equal to each other, we will have a case of infinite solutions. And graphically also we have seen that they lead to coincident lines, and that was why we had infinite solutions. Example, same example I am taking here. So you should recall that this is the example we took. where we saw that the graphs of these were straight lines which were coincident, and so there were infinite solutions. And the third scenario is a case of no solution. In that case, the condition is that a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2. So it will be a case of no solution. Parallel lines example we already have seen. I have rewritten it here. Now, as I have said, we either have unique solution or infinite solutions or no solutions. So when we have unique solution or infinite solutions, we say that solution exists. And whenever solution exists, whether unique or infinite, it's a case of consistent system of equations. But when solution does not exist, that is a case of no solution, we have a case of inconsistent system of equations. So when we have consistent equations, either we have unique solution or infinite solutions. And when we have inconsistent solutions, we have only a case of no solution. Look at this example. We have to find out number of solutions in this system of equations. For that, I need not solve the entire equation system as such. I just have to apply the conditions we saw on the previous slide and see what happens. So my ratios are like this. a1 by a2 is 5 by 7, whereas b1 by b2 is negative 1 by 2. And since they are not equal, it becomes a case of unique solution. We don't have to actually solve the equations to know how many solutions are there. Let's try one more problem. Now in this, we'll again see how many solutions are there. We will see the ratios. So what ratios? a1 by a2 is 5 by 3. b1 by b2 after simplification comes out to be again 5 by 3. And what about c1 by c2? This comes out to 8. So which condition it refers to? a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2. And therefore, it's a case of no solution. Now in this example, again we'll apply ratios and we realize that a1 by a2 is 2 by 3, b1 by b2 is also 2 by 3 and c1 by c2 is also 2 by 3. So all three ratios are equal and therefore recall it's a case of infinite solutions. Now we can have slightly twisted question like this, that we are asked to find a value of k, in this case to have infinite solutions. So we will apply the condition of infinite solutions to get to the answer. So what we do is we find out the ratios. So a1 by a2 is here 2 by 3, b1 by b2 is minus k by 5 and c1 by c2 is 1 by 7. Please understand that for any value of k, a1 by a2 cannot be made to be equal to c1 by c2. That means 2 by 3 can never be equal to 1 by 7 for any value of k. So this system of equations cannot have infinite solutions. Now in this, again we want to find a value of k for the system to have infinite solutions. We'll again apply the same conditions, that is this. Now in this case, a1 by a2 is k by 12. And likewise, we find the other ratios, we get these. Now equate them one by one. So a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2, which is k by 12 is equal to 3 by k, which upon simplification finally gives me k as 6 or minus 6. Second ratio equal to third ratio. That means 3 by k is equal to k minus 3 upon k. And the denominator k's get cancelled out. We get finally k as 6. Now what? From the first equality we got k as 6 or minus 6. From the second equation or equality we got k as 6. Which one is the answer, or is it that both are the answers, that value of k is 6 as well as minus 6? Please understand, when k is 6 all three ratios will be equal. When k is minus 6, only first ratio will be equal to second ratio but not equal to third ratio. And that is why we are looking for the value of k which ensures that all three ratios are simultaneously equal, and therefore the value of k which is common to both these solutions will be the answer. So our final answer is k is 6.
Thank you for watching this video. In case you have any query regarding this video, you can always approach me on the mentioned email ID. Alternatively, you can also send the comments in the comment box.